Pledge allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Jack Cutting.
Here.
Lawrence Myers.
Here.
Tony Mills.
Here.
Tom Hooper.
Here.
Mike Follett. Here. And Gary Smith.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. You all have an agenda before you. We've got one change. You want to explain that?
I was not able to get the financial report today, so I will send it in an email by the end of the week.
So you want to scratch that off your agenda, you can certainly do that. And then I'll ask for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second? Lawrence? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And then you should also have a copy of the previous meetings minutes from Tuesday, February 19th.
I'm going to read it and also pass this around.
Okay. And I will entertain a motion for approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve.
All right. Second? All right, motion second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Barely going to make it around too.
Very good. Do we have any old business?
I just thought that you might like an update about the billboard.
Yep.
Jack, of course, has already seen the artwork, but this is what we had talked about at the last meeting, and I brought a color copy of it to pass around. So this is the billboard that will be, as we discussed, southbound on Interstate 55 immediately after the Bloomsdale exit. On the left-hand side of the interstate as you're southbound, there's a stacked double unit, and we would be the top one on the stack. We went with a little more simple design, just the fleur-de-lis graphic to kind of grab the eye, and not including a photo, because there was basically consensus, even with the Tourism Advisory Council, that it's hard at a distance of moving 70 miles an hour to see exactly what's in that photo.
Well, we were coming back from St. Louis the other night, and you got to be actually past the underpass to see it. There's no overpass
That's
that
what
blocks
Lawrence
part of that. So having it as simple and as bright as possible fits with where it is,
Yeah.
that location.
Yeah.
Did we get a discount because of that location? Is that, didn't you say we got a better rate?
Oh, it's not
Because it's not the best location because of the bridge. I mean,
so it's got to do with the traffic count in that location. Yeah,
There's less traffic there than where it was up in,
just south of
So
Fest.
that's how the
South of
discounts
Festus.
work.
Yeah,
so yeah, and because it's past where 67 turns off. So we can get a little less traffic
Right.
than that.
Thanks. Thank you. Beautiful. Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's bright, it's simple.
Yeah.
Clean.
Get it.
well, and they say, this is what billboard experts say, is that you should have 7 words or less. And there are certain things that people can read, like exit 150 is something that you can kind of absorb without having to read the word, you know, so they allow us a little bonus there.
All right.
Let me turn it back in, Mackie.
Oh, and so part of the update is that that will be installed by the end of this month, so probably sometime the end of next week.
Wow.
So just thought you would like to know that.
Well, I think it's a much better location than the northbound one from before, and, you know, down in Azora. And it's more economical too for us, you know,
Yeah.
price-wise.
At one time, we had 2 Well, you're saying northbound, really. It's
Yeah.
in the stretch between Cape Girardeau and the St. Genevieve exit. At one time, we had two, one at Jackson, roughly, on the right side of the road, and then the one just before the Ozora exit. And I think we discontinued the Ozora exit one first, and then eventually discontinued the one by Jackson. But there's a lot of traffic on that interstate that's going back and forth, either taking the kids to SEMO, or going for Parents Weekend, or going for football games. And then, of course, people from Memphis that are going to St. Louis, or even Cape Girardeau going to St. Louis for Cardinal games, Blues games, what have you. So we haven't taken any action in that regard. It's, you know.
It's still up, right?
No, there is no. This is going to be our only billboard on the
Okay.
interstate.
Because I thought I saw the one out at Ozora a couple weeks ago when I went out there for,
You're talking about something different. What we were just discussing was on the interstate.
oh, okay.
The one that you're thinking about
It's coming from
near
wine country.
Ozora is actually the
From
one coming from
Wine
wine country on Highway B.
Okay.
So you were probably out at one of the wineries.
Well, no. I
Okay.
went out to, for chicken dinner.
Oh, okay, okay.
At the Stop Town.
Yeah, but that one's actually close to the interstate, but you see it
Right.
from B coming back from the wineries.
Right, yeah, okay.
Could I just ask a quick question?
Sure.
As the liaison for the alderman, you do such a wonderful job presenting for your report outs. Are you reporting this to the alderman, or is this something that you want me to report out, or?
Well, it depends on how detailed. I mean,
Right.
I usually cover kind of the high points.
Which is awesome.
And I can include this in my next aldermanic report if you'd like for me
I
to.
think it's really cool.
Sure.
So show what you're doing and stuff like
Sure.
that, just to make sure we
Yeah.
keep that. But if you ever want me to report out anything, I will. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying, but you do such a good job, I just don't.
Well, thank you, and I'd be happy to include it in my report.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Any other questions or comments on the billboard update? Okay, hearing none. Any other old business? All right, we'll move on to new business, approval of expenditures. Andra?
So, as you know, last year we did a full page in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch Summer Fun Guide. At your last meeting, you approved a full page in the Webster, Kirkwood Times, South County Times, West End Word magazines. I brought a color copy. Now, this is a legal size sheet of paper, and you know, this one is a full news print size. So you can maybe share in between people. Sure. There you go.
There's those two people again.
So that's just as FYI. This one will be the paid advertorial, quote unquote, in the road trip section that they do. And this one comes out next week.
Wow.
So, and there were 3 local businesses that decided to participate in this. Audubon's was one. They're going to be advertising. The Inn St. Jem Beauvais Bed and Breakfast. And a new business called Gaslight Ghost Tours. So in addition to our full page, there will be 3 additional ads adjoining it, and they're giving us some editorial coverage as well because we're longtime advertisers with them. So we'll have an article about St. Genevieve events, this article, which is kind of an advertorial, like plan your road trip and all the great things that you can see and do here, and then the local ads next to it. So we'll have quite a bit of coverage.
We got pretty good bang for our buck last year on that.
Yeah, a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of people.
Oh, yeah. This is one of those that is a special insert that they pull out of the paper, and
They
so.
can hold on to it.
Yeah. I don't know if
Yep.
anybody else's coffee table is like mine, but
And
those
the same
things-
one with this one, the other one that's coming.
Exactly.
They're both pullouts.
Now, as Tom just pointed out, this one in the Post-Dispatch, you know, the tabloid format, this is the Go magazine section, and I actually brought my binder that we keep track of things. I know everyone knows what the Go magazine looks like, but well, here's a lovely example. This was a front page of
There's
one of
Summer
their,
Fun.
yeah, one of their issues last year. So this is the tabloid size, and then this was summer fun last year. So I think that's what's pictured on the second page in your handout there.
And,
And in light of certain comments that have been made recently, I think it's important to point out that the two businesses are paying for their own advertising.
Exactly, that's why I pointed that out. We do have, oh, and we always do, have local businesses that participate year-round. It will be different ones, usually each time, and sometimes the Chamber of Commerce participates as well, sometimes the wineries, but we always have a nice showing, which is contrary to a report or a comment that was made at the alderman's meeting about an alderman who had assumed that local businesses don't advertise their businesses, which just is not correct. So.
Is the Heritage Days, does it just not go that far? Is it just not?
Yeah, this is just summer, so it's spring, summer.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do another one in the fall. That's a
Kinda do
good point,
quarterly.
Mike.
Right.
Yeah.
This comes out twice a year. There's like a early summer one that comes out, and it has, you know, summer adventures in it. And then there's one that comes out in August, and so
Okay.
that'll have,
Christmas, the.
It goes
Heritage
through,
and-
it goes through Christmas walk.
Right, okay,
rural
good.
heritage and
Good.
so on, yeah.
I didn't
And it
read
goes all the way
that.
through
Does
Christmas.
it mention the national park, or are we allowed to mention
It does,
that?
it
Okay.
does mention that.
Good.
And that'll be, some of the editorial that they're putting on one of the pages will more than likely cover that really well.
We're actually getting a lot of interest in that, even though we don't have a definite establishment date yet. We're getting lots of interest by the press because, you know, I mean, I've been putting it out there since we had the signing ceremony that it's coming. It's been approved and it's coming, and so there's a lot of interest in it.
Give any idea, any updates on kind of getting sidetracked on the funding of it?
Well, the funding for this year has been approved for the National Park Service, and their funding to purchase a non-historic building was approved. So it's just a matter of timing. Originally, they had told us they would shoot for a June opening, and then they had the government shut down, and that was kind of a setback, and so they haven't given us an update yet as far as a definite opening. Of course, everything's become more complex, and in a good way, with the donation by the Colonial Dames of the 5 properties.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful news. It does make their jobs a little more complicated, and I think that combined with the shutdown.
Causing them to back up and regroup a little bit.
Yeah, they're regrouping.
Yeah.
So there's that. So the Go magazine and their summer fun guide was the other thing that you asked me to get information on, and on that full page, as you have on your sheet, is 1,915.
I don't have any.
Oh, did I skip you?
Yep, yep.
Sorry.
I got these 3.
There's this sheet,
Okay.
and here's this.
Okay.
So the page that you have that has the graphic across it that says Summer Fun Guide, that's just the information basically about the publication. It publishes mid-May, and we will have the next couple of weeks to put together the content for that. The content will be similar to what we included in Webster Kirkwood Times. We'll probably focus on events because that publication is very events oriented, and you know, we want people to be aware of our special events and included in their travel plans. So.
Right.
The other item that is on your expenses for consideration is 2 months of the search engine marketing. This is done through the state's contract with Madden Media, and each month that we commit $330, the state matches that with $330, and this does not come out of our local matching grant, the one that we apply for later in the spring.
Okay.
I also have a comment about the local matching grant application process, but that would be after your expenses discussion.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on the expense proposal? I thought you meant you had a question. Okay, do we, I guess we can do them both together, I guess, huh? All right. So I'll entertain a motion for approval of expenses for the Go Guide and the search engine marketing for a total of $2,575. Lawrence, thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Tony, second? All right. Any other discussion? Okay. Call for a vote at this time. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none? That'd be great.
So there were a couple of things that I just wanted to put out there for you. One was, and I think, well, Tom is already well aware of this because ASL Pewter is moving forward with getting a co-located spot on the CTM rack card distribution program that we do, the one that you already approved April and May for.
Right.
And at the last meeting, we had some discussion about encouraging local businesses, like ASL is kind of taking a leadership role in this regard, encouraging local businesses to also consider participating in that rack card program. And so I got a proposal, and I'm just sending this to you as an FYI. Certainly, if you represent a business, or here I've got others also. If you represent a business and you want to consider this, that's great. If you know someone, please, share this information with them. I'm sharing this information via an email to all the businesses that are in my Tips from Tourism email that I send out. So basically, this gives them the opportunity to consider one or two or three of these. They could just do one if they want to. Mm-hmm. So probably the best known rack card distribution is the first one there. It's the I-55 hotels program. And that one distributes to,
Sandra, I have to ask, I'm
Yes.
having a blank. What is a rack card system again?
so the rack card,
The third page.
yeah, so you'll have to picture this. This is actually our fold-out brochure,
That's
but
the
it's
rack
like
card,
this.
right.
It's just one sheet of paper front and back.
Okay.
So it goes into a rack like this, and when you go into a hotel, there's like all the things to see and do in the area. Merrimack Caverns, St. Genevieve, whatever it might be. And these racks are managed by, a delivery system.
Right,
And
just like your beer distributor.
So
Right.
local businesses are
They can have
being
brochures
offered these
printed.
discounted rates.
Mhm. And they would warehouse those rack cards. Thank you, Megan.
Thank you so much.
That's our rack
I
card.
knew I saw this. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does anyone else? I know Tom knows those pretty
I
well.
don't know if you guys want them or not.
That's a rack card.
Thank you. And these are the locations here.
That is
Yeah.
correct.
Thank you.
So, let's see, where was it? So, rather than just having St. Genevieve in the rack, and then right next to Merrimack Caverns or something like that, it would be great if we could have a couple of different businesses that were in St. Genevieve in addition to the main St.
Or
Genevieve.
like all the bed and breakfast and hotels get together and do one that's just for them and has basically information on the front and
Yeah.
all the hotels listed on the back. Or any businesses that were associated that could go in together, art galleries or something like that. And, you know, and if you divide the cost over, and, you know, several vendors, it's about $320 a month, plus the printing. And usually, and we found what, we're doing about 10,000.
Well, the
of them
printing
a-
is
a
right
year,
underneath
but-
there.
But it's, we're doing about 10,000 of ours are just for a year.
Right? So if they wanted to do these bullet points, number 1 or 2 or 3, each of those is a different distribution system and a different cost per month, as you can see. But what Tom was just getting at was the number of brochures they would need to do that. So the printing quotes there are based on the smallest level of printing at 5,000 of those rack cards for a $250 price. That's an excellent price on printing. And it would take 5,000 to be in their warehouse to fulfill any one of those 3. So if you want to do 2 of those 3, it's going to be 10,000 rack cards. If you want to do all 3, it's going to take 15,000 rack cards. Personally, I think that...
And you pay for the printing at the time you set the printing in, and then the distribution is billed monthly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you have one?
Not yet. I have an old one that I've used for years, but I haven't done this through this distribution.
That's what I was wondering.
We're rebranding everything, the whole website, the rack card, and my person who's doing that is taking another job. And so she's only working part-time on it. So
I know you've probably-
we've been put back a little bit on it.
I know you've done this already, but I'm going to ask anyway. Have we shown this to the chamber? And
The chamber has those in their office, yes.
Okay. This is great.
Yeah, so we did, what Tom just described, we did a rebranding program last year, maybe 18 months ago.
Yeah, about 18 months.
And
This is
went
the second
from,
week that went out.
if you remember the previous rack card, it had our St. Genevieve militia on it, which was really cool, but it was men with guns. And so we updated that to a nice couple in front of a French colonial.
Well, a couple anyway.
Yeah, a really nice couple. So, yeah. So
Right.
that was updated, and then when we finally got to the point where we had used our previous brochures and went to an updated brochure, we included that image. We hired a professional photographer to do a photo shoot, and this was the image that was chosen to be our new marketing image from that. So what I was getting at is that they could opt to do this for a year and see how they like it. They could, renew it at that time. They can do just one of those, which might be the Interstate 55 Motels and Hotels program for $75 a month. Pretty reasonable, and then they could, begin to see what kind of response they get. And some of the businesses already have an existing rack card, so they wouldn't have to maybe print 5,000, or maybe they could take their existing art and have 5,000 printed.
You say you sent this out to this information out to the people on your tourism tips
So
list?
that's going to be sent. This
Oh,
hasn't been sent yet.
okay.
This just came in,
Okay.
so.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
you're the first ones to see it. I will be sending this out on
Okay.
tips.
Cool.
I think that there probably will be some who will take advantage of it, and maybe if they can't afford to include it in their budget this year, maybe they can budget for it, moving into the future.
Or get a couple of associated stores that are next to each other that have a good relationship and split the card. And there's
Right, yeah.
some good things that can be done
Yeah.
with it.
And I'd like to congratulate Tom for stepping out and being an example,
Oh, I just wish we could get ours, but my girl is, she says July for the new website.
Oh, that'll be exciting. I can't wait to see that.
Oh, we're doing some 3D, 360-degree photography where you take a picture of these and it rotates at 360 degrees.
Oh,
In motion, you
great.
see, we're doing a really quite an upgrade.
Wow, that'd be exciting.
So the other thing I wanted to mention, I'll probably bring forward more information at your next meeting, but this is the time of year when we put together the the application for the state of Missouri's matching grant program, the MMG Marketing Matching Grant Program. And always before, the past several years, St. Genevieve is only able to apply for a maximum amount of dollars based on our size. This year, in addition to those funds, the state is encouraging applications that involve a partnership of some kind. So a partnership between neighboring communities, communities that maybe share an asset of some kind. And so they are making additional funds available for that. And so without taking anything away from our existing program, we have the ability to apply for more funds. Well, to apply for more funds, you have to have the 50% match. And so I would like for the members of the TTC to consider if that might be something they would be willing to commit some of these dollars to. I know in the past that was part of it. The partnership that I'm looking at would be between St. Genevieve and Farmington. We've done a number of things hand in hand with them in the recent years. One, obviously during the eclipse, we had lots of people coming here because we were on the center line. They had lots of rooms there. So we did some joint promotion for that. We've also done a joint promotion of a scenic drives tour that takes you from St. Genevieve along Highway 32 over to Farmington, seeing things along the way, coming back through the wine country. And so we share Hahn State Park. I mean, it's in St. Genevieve County, but people often stay in Farmington and come this way to get to it because we only have so many rooms here. And so that's something. And I'll find out more in terms of what the total dollar commitment could be. I'm thinking maybe it would be around $5,000. I'm also approaching the county for the same purpose because we, St. Genevieve Tourism, is the designated marketing organization for attractions in the city and the county through an agreement between the city and the county and the State Division of Tourism. So I'm going to be asking the county for those kinds of funds too. So if we can do that, that would give us $10,000 to match, and then if our partners can also provide $10,000 to match, we would be able to apply for more than we could just on our own. So that's kind of an introduction to the information. As I said, I'll be getting more information over the next month or so, and I'll bring it to you at your next meeting. I just wanted to raise the topic.
Yeah,
and
even
if
if you
anyone,
get commitments from some of the people for even portions of that, we could figure out a way to move it along.
from people, you mean like
Like
other,
Farmington or the
right.
county, and just kind of, put those puzzle pieces together.
Right, exactly. And it doesn't stop us from being able to apply for the small amount that we're able to get
On our own.
right now.
And it's a true matching. In other words, we can come up with, in a group of 10,000, they would match 10,000 for that, or is it a?
Well, we would have to apply for it, and then they would review
Right.
the application, and then it wouldn't start until their FY20 fiscal year.
Right.
But we can ask.
Right, so we.
And they're very pro partnership type applications.
Yeah.
Because it means less paperwork for them when there's partners, So,
Yeah.
among other things. There are just a lot of things that they're trying to encourage partnerships across state government right now. So I wanted to put that out there. I know there are some people that understand how the state matching grant program works because you've been around this for years. If there are some that are not sure, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'll sit down and explain in depth how the marketing matching grant program works. I know Tom understands it, he's familiar with it. I think probably you're familiar with it from your
Somewhat.
time. So Yeah, but don't hesitate to reach out to me. I can schedule something and sit down and walk through, this is what we're eligible for without it, this is what we could be eligible for.
So last year, was it just the city that put in matching funds?
Correct. That's what we've done the last 6 or 7 years, probably. Maybe more than that.
Wasn't any TCC money?
There was none,
No.
correct.
Right, okay.
Well, since I've been on the board, we haven't used any.
Correct.
It's been 4 years, 5 years, so. We
But they
also
did
haven't had an
used to.
opportunity- Yeah, but we also haven't had an opportunity to seek additional funds, like this partnership there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Mike,
Bless you.
the state amount of dollars available to the city, like back in the day, used to be $25,000. Now it's like 6. Because
Really?
we're a tier 1. It's based on how many rooms, it's based on, a lot of factors. But that's where we rank, just strictly based on a number of rooms. So I can still apply for that grant, but now we can have this partnering thing and maybe leverage a lot more.
Okay.
And we get both of them together, that'll
Right.
really,
Yeah.
Right.
give us a good bankroll to push maybe the timing for that money and the national park will all.
And the commissioners in St. Genevieve County and St. Francis County have already indicated that they're open to, partnership proposal, details to be developed. But so that means that they're willing to say to the state, yeah, we want to partner on this and we're behind this, so.
That's good.
And I'll be working with Chris Engler.
Should we do a letter of intent then, or something from the TCC?
There was a resolution, but no letter of intent.
So you have more information at the next meeting?
Your next meeting.
Okay, great. Okay. Any other business come before the committee? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye.
Done. Thank you.